Hello, beautiful humans. Hello. I'm very excited to be here. Always excited. Lots of prep, lots of lovely things to share. If you haven't seen me for a while, you'll see that my hair is growing. It has a mind of its own sometimes. I have slides all ready for you, and I love talking about this topic. I love talking about how we access confidence, how we create confidence, how we hold ourselves back from confidence. So if you're joining me live, please feel free to say hello. The chat is free flowing there. You might not be familiar with Kia ora, hi, yay, Alex is here. So cool. I can see some others too. You don't have to chat, you don't have to comment. But what I will say is that if I'm speaking and when, and you have questions, throw them in the chat. I'd love to answer them. Or if there's an aha moment, if there is a realization, some words that you need clarity on, anything like that, please do share. Other people in the recording, like when they get the recording, they won't see who asked the question, and I won't speak that either. I'll just see the question and speak to it. Whether I speak to it during or I save it for the end. And if I kind of skip your question, it might be because I know that the answer to that is coming. So we'll get in on that. But I will get started. What I want to do before we start is to drop in, as I do with no matter what I'm doing, whether it's a coaching session, a Reiki course, and these our community online coaching calls, you name it, we start with breath and intention and we arrive here together. So we're going to do a few minutes of that. So, my table. I invite you to get comfy and to sit a little tall up and out of the crown of the head. And if you feel comfy, just closing the eyes and softening the gaze. You don't have to close your eyes. If softening, like lowering the lids helps, that's all good. But either really help us just to become more in tune with what's going on within, which is a big piece of what I'm going to speak to today. But let's arrive here together, whether you're live or whether you're on the recording. Let's arrive here in this moment. Arriving here in your body, becoming aware of you in this time and space. So where you're placed in time and space, feeling your butt in the seat and your feet where they meet. With closed eyes, becoming aware of where you're placed in the room, what objects are around you, what sounds, what smells, what heat, what cool. And then becoming aware of your breath and landing in that breath, taking a nice big buoyant breath in and letting it sigh out. I know I can hear you, so if you want to make a bit of sound, you absolutely can. Big deep breath in and let it fall out. I say fall out, it's just nice to have it to be effortless. One more big deep breath in. Maybe you want to make some sound on the way out. Yay. So with eyes closed here, I'm going to invite you to feel your energy drop down and connect with the earth, and that you may see a cord, you may see a channel, you may just feel a pull on the touch of gravity, just connecting with the earth underneath you. And feel that flow of energy between you and the earth. Maybe you don't feel it, that's okay. Maybe you imagine it, sense it. And that's that ability for us to, when we connect with it, to feel grounded, supported, stable, connected. And there's a nurturing, nourishing energy from the earth that we can tap into at any time. We start with the earth because it's important for us to feel grounded and in our bodies. And then moving now our energy and awareness up and out of the crown of the head, shooting that energy up to Father Sky. So we've got Mama Earth, now Father Sky. and the energy or the awareness of connecting to what's greater than us, to infinite energy source, to our higher self, and to greater wisdom that's beyond the human realm. And feel ourselves connecting up, and then, if you wish, allowing that energy, that intuition, that greater knowledge to come in and through you. And bringing Mama Earth and Father Sky, bringing the stability and the grounded centeredness, and also that higher wisdom, that greater knowing, both directions, bringing that into the heart space, bringing it into the human, into the now, into the you that's here in this moment. And just asking for guidance and receiving this information, guidance for me, and sharing this with you and holding space for you in this exploration and this curiosity. And that's what I ask for today, is that you may receive the information in that way. Be open and curious. Take what you need and leave the rest behind. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So when you're ready, just coming back into the space. Now, I share that practice because to me, that's the first piece in confidence, is knowing that we're not alone and that there is a lot of energy and access and greater wisdom and support that is available to us if we simply set intention and connect. The elements of the earth are always there to support us. The warmth of the sun, the cleanse of the water, the change in the wind. It's something that I really believe is quite powerful. And the reason I share that is that knowing this allows me to feel more confident in myself. It allows me to feel more powerful. And power is a good thing because we all have that power, that influence, that radiance within us. And when we know that we're not alone, and then when we I got to stop doing that. And when we feel that stability and that support, knowing that there's greater wisdom than this thing here, and that there's so much to gather and feel from the earth, we can step forward with a lot more of that resonance of confidence. So that is one of the reasons I start there, one of the reasons I tap into that every single day, because there's more for us if we lean in. And same thing, and this may not be within your belief system or not, but for me, knowing that I have a spirit team and that I have those who have passed in support of me with pure intention and lots of love, knowing that I have that, I am never alone. And that is another place of confidence for me. It may not serve you, and that is okay. That's what I mean as we ended our little drop-in with this call and what I share. Take what you need, take what resonates with you, and just anything else that doesn't, you're like, nah, it doesn't fit. Ask a question or just leave it behind. Get what you need, and that's all that matters. Now I'm going to share the slides with you. I know that one of you was here with me last time, and the slide was not there, and it's also not there. I was just going to make a joke about, hey, it's here this time. Oh boy, that's hilarious. No joke, it's actually not there. That's okay. I have it. I have it all with me. It's okay. It doesn't matter what I do. It just disappears. Checked it twice. Oh, good. So where I wanted to start with this is, how do you find confidence? And the thing about finding confidence, so this is that question has got so much in itself. Even the question, how do I find confidence? It insinuates that confidence is out there. And it also insinuates that we forget that we are confident when we choose. So it's all about our state of presence, our state of mind. Yeah, I know. Help a girl out. Check it twice. Maybe I'm not meant to use it. So where I wanted to start, and this is a question I do, if you may answer, and if you're on the recording, maybe have a little bit of a moment on journaling, but what does confidence mean to you? And as you're thinking about that, I'm going to share a little piece, and whether you write the same thing, all good. But confidence means that, to me, it means I'm standing in who I am. Confidence means that I am going to be okay, and I feel that within myself. Confidence doesn't mean I've got it all figured out. Confidence means that I trust that I will. And some of these pieces will layer in as we go. But hopefully that's making sense to you. So for those of you that are on the call, again, I won't share who said what, but what does confidence mean to you? Or have you ever thought about that? And that's a funny thing that we do as humans. We're like, I just want to feel more of this, or I just want to find more of this. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean for you? And then in that contemplation, we start to really break it down of like, oh, well, it means this and this. And then I'm going to ask you, well, where do you have that in your life already? Nope. Okay. It's so interesting how that works and how we power that up. That's something that I really wanted to encourage you to consider is, what does that mean for you? And how does that show up in your life? And that can be a really beautiful platform for us to work from. I'm just checking some settings in the back end to see if that might make a difference to me old slides. Nope. Okay, that's cool. So, oh yeah, thank you. Got something there. Self-belief. Exactly. Exactly. To me, confidence is believing in self. And it doesn't mean you got the knowledge. It doesn't mean you know how it's going to go. Segue there. It doesn't mean that you have to have it all figured out. The confidence is trusting that you will. And that is a beautiful place to work from. So, next slide that I will read. Confidence is, I wish you could, yeah. I wonder if I can, oh, yep. I can. I'm going to put it in the chat, because one of the reasons for the slides is just so that you can not just hear the statement, but see the statement. So I'm going to throw that in the chat. Confidence is not something that is delivered by someone else, because that's another thing that happens. So I'm going to talk about where we get it, what it means, but also how we hold ourselves back from it. So it's not something that's delivered. It's something that we decide. Now, this is a quote from me. This is something that when I was journaling and I was writing about what I really wanted to share here, this is something that came through for me. And it's really important for you to understand that concept, because a lot of people are waiting for confidence through validation, through confirmation, through somebody's going to give it to me. And it's not out there. It's in here. So, yeah. And another answer there is being okay, being enough to truthfully answer without being scared. I 100% agree with that. Thank you so much for sharing. So it's not something that's delivered, it's something that we decide. So when we realize that I can decide to be confident in this moment, there it is. It's right there for you. But what gets in the way of that? Well, what gets in the way of us being confident is, first, feeling as though we need to know how it's going to go. Therefore, I am in control before we do the thing. But we can't get the confidence until we do the thing without knowing how it's going to go. So you can see how we get in our way there. I hope that lands with you. But we do this to ourselves. We really do. And the other piece, this beautiful quote that I wanted to share with you here, is this. We have this perception that we need to feel ready in order to start. we need to know, I was just referring to that, how things are going to go in order to feel confident before I go there, before I give it a go. And that's why, like quite a few years ago for me, as I was starting in the realm of coaching and neuro-linguistic programming and really understanding where my mind was set, that's why I work with mindset, this quote really stood out with me because I had been holding myself back in many, many ways. And one of the reasons why was because I thought that I needed to be prepared and I needed to feel confident about the thing before I did the thing. And then this quote came through and it really stuck with me. And it has for many times. Don't wait until you're ready to start. Start and you will discover that you are ready. And not only is that a beautiful motivator, but I've seen this in reflection, and you'll know what I mean as I describe it. But I've seen this in reflection when I'm working with clients, when they start putting something in place, maybe it's meditation, maybe it's fitness, maybe something like that. And then they automatically go to, oh, I could have been doing this for ages. There's a reflection of this. You start and then you discover that you're actually ready. You are ready for this and you can lean in. So let that be a motivation because we have this apprehension, I'm not ready. What's going to get you ready? Well, I want to feel confident. What's going to get you confident? Starting and then you seeing that you're ready. Then the confidence comes because confidence comes with practice. So often we get this recipe all mixed up with, I need to feel confident before I start. But I don't believe that's true for the reasons that I've shared already. And also, I believe that the key ingredient for us to feel confident is to first be courageous. We have to have courage to do the thing. We don't know how it's going to go and we don't know whether they're going to be any good at it, but it doesn't matter because we're going to learn. So that's courage. Then on the other side of that, we find confidence. Not only do we find confidence because then we're in the learning and we're starting to practice, we're starting to figure it out, but we build confidence because we let with courage. Courage and confidence click together. And the other thing that happens is the more that you choose courage, you are courageous, you lean into things that you haven't done yet, don't know, but believe you'll figure it out, the more confidence, the more muscle you flex with that, the more you'll be like, oh, I can do more than this. So we've got to stretch ourselves to find confidence too, rather than it being something that we sit back and wait for. It's juicy stuff. I hope that I'm delivering in this a way that it's dropping some aha moments for you. If it is, let me know. Questions, I'm here. Interrupt at any time. But this is really how I see we get in our own way. It's like, what are the perceptions we have around things that are holding us back? So first it was like, what do you even feel is confidence? Where does it come from? Self-belief was one of the answers, truthfully knowing that we can go there and exploring. The other part that I want to share in answer to one of the questions is that determining what scared means, because I believe in the place of courage, in the place of confidence, that we need to be a little bit scared. But is it scared excited? Is it scared new? Because those aren't reasons to stop. Those are reasons to lean in. So we have, on some part, through conditioning, through the things that have happened in the world, through not wanting to fail in education, no one thing's fault, but just these are things that come through for us. We have been wired to think, I'm scared, so I can't. But that isn't true. I'm scared because this is new. I'm scared because I haven't done this before. That does not mean you can't do it. In fact, it means that this might be a little bit important. There is some extra anticipation and energy here for me to embrace, and I'm going to do it anyway because I've got courage and that will lead me to confidence. So you can see the equation that I'm trying to create for you here. Lean in, you'll figure it all out, and it's really exciting. Okay, so I'm just kind of going back to the quotes and just making sure that I'm sharing everything with you. And I like that I'm dropping them in. Okay, yeah, cool. So the next one that I wanted to share. And I've got all of your emails, so I'll send you this beautiful little slide series so that you can see it, and it can be a reminder of what we've talked about today. So before I drop this next one in the comment, understanding that a lot of where confidence comes from is within you. And oh, thank you. I just saw that comment. Confidence and courage. Twice I've had IT and you just got on with it. Yeah, that's right. I could too, but there's no point because I'm here for you guys. So thank you for acknowledging that, Alex. I really appreciate it. Time is of high value, and I really value that for you, and I value the fact that you guys are here with me. So crack on. So courage is a place that comes from within. Confidence is a place that comes from within. It's a choice we make, and it is really based on how we treat ourselves and how we support ourselves. So let that land for a minute. Confidence comes from how you treat yourselves. Now I'm going to loop out and then loop back. Words are spells. And what we mean by that, and you may have heard this, you may not have. I'm going to break that down for you. So words have energy. The words we use, the thoughts we think have energy. And they directly affect how we feel within ourselves. This all loops into confidence, right? So when we use words, the way we use words creates our reality. Now that can get into some manifesting conversation, but I'm going to pull it into here. So for an example, and some of you maybe heard me use this, when you think about, and really feel into this as you hear this, when you think about the word cruel, I know, sorry, but it has an effect. You can feel it, and I'll describe how it feels to me. For me, it kind of feels like I want to pull my heart back and I want to contract a little bit. It feels a bit heavy, feels a bit yuck. And then now I want you to think about the word joy. And just as I say that, it feels like there's sun radiating out of my chest. It feels open and expansive, and it feels like I want to lift up. So the words we use, the words we share, the words we speak have energy. So that's what it means by words are spells. When we're saying things like, and I don't even like saying it, but I'll use them as example, I could never, or I can't, or that's not possible, we're making that true. So that isn't a bad thing. Don't let that be like, oh crap, that's hard. What I mean by that is when we consciously choose our words, we can create a better support system for ourselves, therefore create more confidence. So what I want to share there, sentence, words are spells. You are creating or, and that's what I was alluding to, and I didn't even want to put it in the sentence, so I just put ... When we're using our words with intention and with love and support, we are creating for ourselves, or we're contracting, we're holding ourselves back, we're doubting, and we're getting in our own way. And we could even put, or we're like destroying, we're distracting, and it's not cool. So a lot of where our confidence can come from is how we support ourselves, how we're speaking to ourselves, how we're using our words. So confidence comes in, what I was alluding to at the beginning, it's okay, I'll figure this out. This is a one-step thing. One that I use a lot, especially when I can feel the doubt or the lack maybe coming in or the worry. I use the frame, I am a work in progress, because we are wired to go to, I'm not good enough, that wasn't right, I did this wrong, this is a fail, measuring all the mistakes and all the negatives and all of this. That is an antidote to confidence. We will not feel confident while we're listing our doubts and our fears and our mistakes and our failures. We cannot feel it. What we need to do within our words is support ourselves. So that is how confidence comes from within. Confidence comes from how you speak and treat yourself. And that was the next beautiful slide for you, which I'm going to share. So right now I'm just copying and pasting from the slides so that I can pump these into the chat, because I just really like the visual for you. There. So confidence comes from in. It is birthed in how we speak and treat ourselves. So having positive, powerful statements. Say confidence for you is in the area of wanting to get a new job. Then the way you're speaking and supporting yourselves is, I can see myself arriving in this new work. I will figure this out. I know this. So when you feel that doubt of like, I don't know how this is going to go. Oh my God, what if they reject me? What if they this? You're going to say, this is all for the learning. I'm going to figure this out. I'm a work in progress. If they don't want me, I'm going to ask. I'm going to learn. I'm going to grow. This wasn't right for me, so that is okay. These are all things that will build your stance, will build your confidence, will assure yourself. For a lot of people, when it comes to how do I speak to myself, how do I treat myself, when they think about themselves, they get a roadblock. We as a society have lost how to treat ourselves well. But I got a really easy recipe for you, and some of you may have heard this in other workshops. If you're stuck on how to treat and support yourself well, ask yourself how you would do the same for someone you love. If someone said to you, I'm really feeling a lack of confidence, this is a whole lot of fear and a whole lot of doubt in this area, what would you say to them? And then you automatically find the answer you need for yourself. Because you know what you need more than anybody else on this planet. So you know what you need to hear when you really listen to what that fear or that doubt is. And that self-support is next level confidence. So that's what I mean about it coming from within. This is a beautiful kōrero, a beautiful conversation that you get to have with you to figure out what is required in this moment, in this instance, with this thing for me to feel confident. Why do I want to feel confident? What will it mean for me? And what do I need to hear? I got this. That's my 100%, like my fallback, no matter what. If I don't know what to say or how to say it, I've got this. And I'll figure it out. It's going to be okay. Those things lean you towards confidence because you're trusting in yourself. And it's such a powerful place to sit. Hey, I hope this is landing for you. It's always a little bit different in a webinar like this because I can't see people and I want to interact. Anywho, I should probably not complain about this platform because it might be listening, and that might be why your old slides don't work. Speaking truth. So my next slide was short and sweet. And it kind of ripples off what I've just been saying. Like when you start to build the skill, when you start to flex the muscle of how to speak to yourself in order to build confidence and sort of pep talk yourself, be your best teammate. Like that's a lot of what my work comes back to when we're talking about intuition, we're talking about vision, we're talking about confidence, is being your best teammate and knowing that you can deliver what you need to hear. Then you've got your own back and you've got more information than anyone else on this planet about what you need to hear and how you need to hear it. And then we get to what's this next slide is super simple, is trusting your internal compass. So one of the other reasons that we can start to lack confidence or doubt ourselves is when we hear our intuition, when there is a knowing that's coming through and we don't quite trust it or we don't listen. And therefore we're kind of proving to ourselves that we don't trust ourselves. And we can start to flex that in really small ways. What should I do here? Give me a yes, feel into the body, give me a no. Okay, that's my internal compass. What do I need? I've got 20 minutes of a break. What do I need? Instead of what should I do, asking your heart, asking your body, what do I need? Getting the answer, doing that. These are little ways that you can flex that muscle, practice that skill to trust your internal compass. When you trust your internal compass, confidence is right there. That is the key. That is the recipe. And it's such a beautiful thing. Let me just preface here, though. I'm sharing all these recipes. I'm guiding you to the pieces and the parts of where you may be in your own way. I'm explaining how you can find your self-support, yada, yada, yada. But it's important to remember that confidence is a practice and it ain't always there. We will continue, especially when we stretch and grow in our lives, when we move in new ways, when we make new choices, we will constantly come up against those doubts and fears that make us perceive there is a lack of confidence. But the more you flex this muscle on the level that you're at now, aka what do I need to hear? Where will confidence come from? How do I courageously step in? The more you do that on these smaller layers, or hey, if you want to dive right in, dive right in. The more you do that, the more you'll see how it ripples out and really starts to grow. And that muscle, you flex it more, you'll feel like you've got your own back in so many more ways. Wanting to be validated, yeah. Yeah, I feel that. But we're also wired to seek external validation instead of acknowledge our own. And again, validation and confirmation, there's two different things. Validation can be really good when we're quite insecure and we're really not sure where we're going. It can be a tool to help build us up. Confirmation I prefer because we're like, okay, that was like that feedback was confirmation that my work is good. This response from someone or the conversation that then expanded or what I just learned, that's confirmation that what I'm doing is great. But if we're feeling a lack of confidence or we're measuring our doubts and fears while we're being validated by another, that validation won't have any effect. Because the true person that you need validation and confirmation and support from is you. So you could be getting all of the validation and the confirmation and the reward and the everything from outside. But if you're still in here measuring your doubts and your couldas, shoulda, wouldas and what went wrong and all the everything, you still won't actually really truly believe it. So thank you for sharing that because it's a really key piece. And that goes for the same with self-love. You could be in the most loving and powerful and supportive environment, but still not feel loved because you don't believe it for yourself. So it starts within. That's what I'm saying, like that. Trust your internal compass. And it is a practice. We don't always get it right. It is a muscle. We need to keep flexing. It is something that we have to learn and build and develop. Boom. I love it. I love it. In that one word, I get that you get what I mean. So another way that I can really help you to lean into this is to guide you in a practice of confidence. So it takes about 3 to 5 minutes. I'm going to do that right now before we finish up. So if you've got a question that's on your heart or a share or anything like that, maybe drop that in now. And as I mentioned before, I'll just chat for a second so that there's time for you if you've got any questions or any aha moments. Then we're going to go into a couple of minutes of practice. And again, I'll stick around for 5 or 10 once we hit 7:45. And because I want to keep the recording at that for any further shares or questions. So where we've been going is, really just bringing the loops in to you got this and you choose. So it isn't something that you can get from out here. It's something that you decide and you practice and you build. It ain't a switch that flicks and, oh, I'm good now, I'm confident in everything. You will keep coming up against it. However, the more you practice it, the more it will become a natural muscle that flexes without you thinking. So it will become a natural way of being. Oh, I'm doubting myself. What do I need to hear? How do I need to support myself? Cool, got it. And we move forward. It's so good. So let's sit for a few minutes. Let's breathe. I'm going to guide you through a little exercise of remembering confidence. And what that does is when we remember the feeling, the energy, the vibration of confidence, you are more likely to recognize when you are confident, because sometimes we just don't know we are because we're busy in our doubts. We're like, oh, I was actually really confident there, but then I just went off on this whole doubt train and I completely missed that I was totally on it. So remembering it, but also what it does is it pulls it towards us. When we remember it on a cell and energetic level, we are more likely to be like, I can step in here. I can do this now. We're more conscious of the choice we make and the energy that we step into. So let's do that. So I'm going to invite you to pop anything down. I'm having a wee sip of my tea. I'm going to pop anything down, just like we did in the beginning. Get a comfy seat, maybe sit a little tall up and out of the crown of the head. Perhaps close the eyes or at least lower your gaze so you can go within, go into a place of deep listening with self. And let yourself breathe here. Really feel your breath without judgment, just observing how you're breathing in this moment. Call in a nice big buoyant breath right down into the base of the body. Letting out a big sigh. And breathe in whatever way feels right for you for 2 more beautiful breaths. In a moment, but not yet, I'm going to guide you to remember. Now, it doesn't matter whether it's a small, what might seem insignificant thing, or whether it's big and surprising. It doesn't matter whether it's how you would measure as good or bad or right or wrong. It is just what comes through, and whatever comes through is perfect for you. So try not to measure it, try not to guide it, just let it come through. And for a lot of us, we receive messages in different ways. So you might sense it, you might imagine it, it might be a very clear image, it might be a memory. Just do the best you can and let it come through the way it does for you. Okie dokie. So I want you to remember a time where you felt confident, a time or a memory where you felt confident. I know I'm going quick, but that's what we're doing so we can tap into the subconscious mind. I want you to remember a time where you felt confident. Allow that to become really clear as it possibly can on the screen of your mind or in the realm of your being. I want you to just remember a time where you felt confident. And when you find that time, not measuring it, not judging it, not choosing it, just whatever came through, I want you to allow it to become as clear as it possibly can. Remembering that time as best you can. Maybe you see the details, maybe you hear the sounds, maybe you smell the smells, maybe you see the colors, maybe you notice you're by yourself or you're with others. Maybe you notice other feelings that are present. And allow that to become really clear as it possibly can. This time and memory of you being confident. And allow it to become cell level confident. Allow it to be in your being and surround your whole body as though it's like a beautiful, colorful cocoon. We also want to turn up the energy, like we're turning up our favorite song in the stereo. We're turning up our favorite song. We're turning up the vibration of confidence. If you don't know how this works, don't worry. If you're not feeling it too much, don't worry. It's coming through on a subconscious level. You may just not be conscious of us, and that's okay. So we're allowing this time and this memory of confidence to get as clear as it possibly can for you. It's right there. Whether you see it or not, it's okay. It's there. We're turning up like we're turning up our favorite song because we're choosing with openness and curiosity to turn up this vibration of confidence from a 5 to 6, 6 to 7, trusting that it does, 7 to 8, because you deserve it, 8 to 9, doubling this feeling, this vibration of confidence. Now we're turning up our favorite song way up to joy, and we're really receiving that in our whole being and feeling that expanding out from all around you, colors, brights, whites, maybe. and letting it be really big, really buoyant, more bold, more brilliant, and more alive than it possibly can. This energy, this vibration of confidence. Taking a big deep breath in. And as you exhale, let it be received. Let it wash over you. And clear the screen of your mind. And sometimes when you practice this, it may be really clear, and other times it may not. And that's okay. We do have some blocks in the way. Sometimes. Or it may have been really surprising for you. And that's really cool too. So here's where we come to the end of our webinar. Time goes really quickly. But what I wanted to share is that confidence is something that you build. Just like anything else. It's a practice that becomes easier and more natural. But through that, you learn how to support yourself in magical ways that set you up for things that you can't even imagine right now. And that's so cool. But it's also remembering that it's not something that you sit back and you just know when you're ready. It's something that you decide, and that there is courage required. And the more you do that, the more you start to trust your inner compass. And that's a really, really beautiful way to live our lives. It will move you in the ways that you wish. It'll grow you in the ways that you desire. And it'll surprise you in all the coolest ways. That's why I wanted to share this. Now, there are a lot of reasons why a lack of confidence is present for us in our lives. And some of the things that I've shared today may not be as simple as I'm making them sound. There are some things that happen to us in our lives that can really, truly create a belief that we're not good enough, or we're not worthy, or that we need to be invisible, or that we are low priority. There are beliefs that are installed in us as a kid, or it's somewhere along the way that we heard or we had an experience of, and then we decide that it's true. And on a belief level, it's not as simple as the logical and what we've been talking and thinking about today. Sometimes we need more support on a subconscious level to really reprogram that. So when we talk about neuro-linguistic programming, this here is one of the greatest and most intelligent computers in the universe. And what happens is, through this, the process of our life and through the experiences that we go through, there are some negative programs that get installed. And that's what I was referring to, those beliefs that are holding us back, those limiting, we call them limiting beliefs, those negative thought loops that we just can't seem to get out of. No matter how much we talk about confidence and we change perceptions or we support ourselves, we keep reverting back to that. This may not be all of you or any of you, but I want to share this so that you can maybe see, because some of you might be like, oh, actually, yep, that's me. So there are in NLP and other forms of coaching some really beautiful ways for us to look at that program, pull it apart, really see it for what it is and where it came from, and then pull it out, no kidding, uninstall and reinstall the new and supportive beliefs that you really want to be living from, and really, really believing within yourself. So I'm not saying that all of you or any of you have that, but you also, as I'm saying this, you might be like, yeah. And so I just wanted to offer that, because if you are really putting some of these things in practice and you're like, no, I keep coming up against what we call a brick wall or these barriers, it may be that you need a bit of one-on-one support to get that through and to really clear that. And I'm here for that. Or there's many other people. If I don't resonate with you in that area, I can help guide you to find someone else. But I definitely needed that. And I went through a process of really pulling apart and uninstalling these beliefs that there were experiences that I'd been through, and then I'd made decisions about what they meant, and then I made them true because of the frequency in which I heard them within my mind. So that is something that some of you maybe might need, and it can accelerate you in terms of confidence and courage if that's something that's on your heart. But this is where you trust your internal compass. As I'm sharing that, you may be a yes, you may be a no, you may be I don't know, I'll let that sink in. And that is absolutely perfect. But know that there are many tools and people and myself who can support you if you feel like that would be really key for you. The energy of the new and the full moon at the moment, especially we're coming up to the full moon here in Libra and looking for that balance of the light and the dark, the balance of our doubts and our fears and our courage and our confidence, right? So I just wanted to share that is the energy of the call that we have for our community coaching call, which is on Monday night. If you were watching this kind of within a few days of it being recorded. So Monday night, release community coaching is at 7:00 and it is $22. Now, this is where we really look at releasing a lot of these fears and doubts, like actually in a written release practice. Or actually, if you're in Oamaru, I have an actual in-person one on Sunday. Anyway, I'm dropping seeds at you. But the double bonus too, I have a bit of a gift prize beautiful thing that I'm doing at the moment. So if you attend Monday night's call, which is $22, you go in the draw to receive one-on-one coaching, a month of membership, and the 7-day ritual online program. So it's about $240 worth of gifts. I'm just giving that away at the moment. So all you have to do is join that call on Monday night. If you're not sure, you can message me. If you're on this call, you know how to reach me in some way, shape, or form. And that's where I extend that. If you have any questions, if you need any support, if anything sparked you, if anything's triggered you, or if you've had a beautiful aha moment and you want to share that, I'd love to hear it. It'd be really cool. And as mentioned in the beginning, I have your emails. I'm going to send you the slides just as wee reminders of the quotes that I was referring to and the beautiful little compass that I had on my slides. And we'll just continue to be patient and perseverant with this platform. So thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being open to listening. Thank you for sharing and commenting. Absolutely just thank you for being here and not saying anything, but just being present. And I hope that you got what you needed, a little or a lot, and flick the rest off and leave it behind. Have a beautiful evening, and thank you. So much love.